Hey everyone, it is the Worlds week, and today we're going to go through the standard decks that we're going to see at Worlds, right? And this will be the top 5. If you want to see what I said for V Premium and Premium, I posted them on the previous days, and yeah, go check them out and see what I thought. And if you want to see Worlds, it's happening this weekend, so you know, you're in the area, go. You can just hop in and see what's happening. If you're not, then there will be streams for every single format plus Y Schwartz, so go check that out. You know, check the socials if you're not sure where it's happening, but you know, everyone will definitely post it. I'll be casting for Premium, so if you want to watch me, go check Premium. But I think Different Fight is doing Standard. Different Fight and Out of Orange is doing Standard, so yeah, you can watch them if you like Standard. But yeah, today I'm going to go through all the Standard decks that we'll see, the top 5. I think for Standard, it's pretty straightforward. Unlike the Premiums formats, the V and the Premium formats, nothing got banned. Only things got unrestricted, which is pretty cool. But I still feel like the top 5 is kind of there already. You kind of know what it is. Maybe except for one, right? So that'll be the surprise at the end. But let's start off with the most obvious one that we'll see. So the first one is going to be Youthberg, right? And, you know, Youthberg, when it came out in Japan, it got massive support. Everyone likes the edgy knights. Everyone likes, you know, what it can do. It has multi-attacks, has Vanguard restand, kind of. You also have removal, kind of, with the Tempest. Everything gets like 10k for no reason, or boost for 10k for no reason. So you just easily hit numbers, and it just works out pretty well. You kind of want a Persona ride, because, like, you know, games can get grindy with this deck if you don't. But if you do, you can just kind of like steamroll your opponent and just like kill them, and it just feels really, really good, right? The deck is definitely one to beat. When it came out in Japan, huge results. But then out in English, everyone is trying to pick up this deck. This deck is super expensive right now, which is crazy. But, you know, for Worlds, everyone's going to come well equipped and definitely have the best deck in the format. And definitely Youthberg is one of the decks to beat, in my opinion. Out of all the decks in English, I don't think it's really shown results. Because I think right after the season ended, after the BCS season ended, that's when Youthberg became like legal. Maybe for Anaheim it was. I'm not 100% sure, but since we haven't seen any official results of the deck, Worlds might be the first one where we're going to see how impactful it is in the Western meta. Right, it's definitely shown that it's been good in the Eastern meta, in Japan. So in the Western meta, I think we'll see just how many people will bring it and how successful it is. Right, but the next deck definitely has shown success, and that is Ava. So Ava, when it came out, when the promo came out in English, sorry, not when Ava came out, when the promo for Ava came out, this deck started taking names in the BCS circuit quite a lot, right? You'd have like low amounts of people taking the deck, but then high amounts of placement and high amount of wins of this deck. And it's just got, again, the whole package. It's got, well, nearly the whole package. It's got removal, it's got damage control, your Obfuscate's really cool, he's like 10k shield, but also comes in with crit, its numbers. This deck doesn't require Persona Ride to function, which is very, very important. A lot of these decks don't require Persona Ride to function. You can say Youthberg doesn't because it hits numbers naturally well, but personally, in my opinion, you're not Persona Riding with Youthberg. You're kind of not pushing hard enough, right? But with this deck, you kind of don't, because you just hit naturally good numbers, getting targeted cards that you need and making very strong multi-attacks, and then just kind of cycling through the deck and being very, very cool like that, right? This deck does not have a Vanguard restand, which is very important when you think about it, because, you know, a lot of these other decks do, right? But just the other package, the package that it brings kind of makes up for it, which is very, very important. Also, when you're playing with this deck, you get to play Elder Breath, which is the best overtrigger in the game. So yeah, you will just randomly win games. That's just it, right? Imagine the finals, you trigger OT and you just win, right? That's going to be easiest finals you have, and you can only do that with Ava, which is very, very important. That's, I have to say. But you have to rate decks by overtriggers as well, because it's part of the game. Right? It's part of standing. You got to feel it, right? You got to feel it. So Ava, that's why people will bring it, and it definitely has shown some very, very good success already, right? The next deck we'll see is Lutisha. This is kind of interesting because in the West, I think this has definitely high impact than when it got released in Japan, right? But in the West, I think people pick this up, and it has a Vanguard restand, and that's all you need to know, right? It can restand with Vanguard, does good numbers, it's great, right? But also, its reguards hit really, really good, right? Bread Girl, right, hits like just massive numbers by itself. I think it's Naturia. And then you can stack your deck with her, which is pretty nice. You also have an insane defensive order, right? Just being up to 15k shield and draw a card if you have enough of the orders in soul. It just makes it's insane. Like, I think playing this deck, you come to realize that you surprisingly get a decent amount of cards in your hand after you ride grade 3. right? And you just kind of like never fully die. You know, never fully die. In the beginning of in the early game, you might feel bad, but then, you know, later on you start hitting those big numbers. Your columns come massive. You're stacking a deck. You're hitting those crits, right? It feels pretty good. So overall, Lutisha does have a pretty good showing in the format, and you know, definitely a deck to look out for, right? The fourth deck we'll see is Overlord. So again, I like to include very ignorant decks in the format because you just play your own game and don't care about what the opponent does. I think Overlord is just that. One thing with Lutisha compared to Overlord, like they're both kind of same in what they do. They both just want to trigger over triggers. Well, I guess all decks want to trigger that, but both decks want to restand. I'm sorry, but Lutisha kind of pops off quicker, right? It pops off quicker, it goes quicker. But you know, Overlord, the end, yeah, it makes some really nice columns. You have a crazy PR that makes, you know, 13k for no reason. Your Burning Horn hits high numbers too. So in a sense, those like the end and Lutisha is kind of similar, but the bulk that you can get with Overlord is really good. Your restanding doesn't lose a drive, which is really nice. Your over trigger is just superior, I think. I think Drag Vader is like one of the better ones compared to all the Bermuda ones. And the Bermuda one's fine, but you know, Drag Vader I think is slightly better. And then apart from that, I guess you can slightly rush better with Overlord, but then again, you can put down Bread Girls early game with Yuikas and all that. So I think, again, it's very, very similar, but it'll just be, I think, really up to the player, right, on what they want to play. This deck does have removal compared to, well, you can run removal, but most decks do run removal compared to Lutisha. So that's really, really good. Both decks as well, like Overlord doesn't require Persona Ride, but it can search Persona Rides better. That's another big thing. You can search Persona Rides better than Lutisha, so you can hit better better numbers overall, which is quite important. And yeah, I think both, like this deck and Lutisha, I think will just be played, right? Be played, and it'll be really up to the player which restander they want to bring, right? And the last deck I think you might find surprising. This is the one deck that I think is kind of like not confirmed to be like the meta right now, and that is Flagberg. So why did I say Flagberg? I know a lot of players look at me and go, this is the guy that hates Flagberg. And I think, yeah, whatever, man. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. The thing is, we're in America, right? We're in America, and for some reason, America is full of players who like Flagberg, right? And Flagberg got support in set 7. So that means, you know, it's gotten better. Whether it's good in the meta, like to beat other decks, like that's a more personal opinion, right? But, you know, players going to Worlds, they have their own testing, they have their own numbers, and since, you know, I just think there's like this weird Flagberg bias, at least in the States. I think this is definitely going to be a pick. This is definitely going to pick. People are going to try out. People are going to say, you know, I've Flagberg my whole life, right? So I'm definitely going to take this to World, and that's just what it is, right? That's what it is. Flagberg does have a like, they have good multi-attack, right? They have better multi-attack now ever since I think it's Arix that came out, the one from set 7, the nice looking girl, right? And you also have Shelling Cannon. You can make those attacks. You have your guard restrict as well, the triple card battle door effect, which is really, really cool. But overall, yeah, I think this deck is like more Persona Ride reliant, the most Persona Ride reliant, I think, compared to everything else in this list, which is going to be a bit of a detriment, right? But hey, if you need to high roll your opponent, this is one of the decks that you can high roll your opponent with, especially in standard. I think I said this before, right? You know, I personally wouldn't want to play Flagberg, but I wouldn't want to play against Flagberg. That's just how it is. I don't want to sit there and like take damage and not get a damage trigger and just die because of that. And that can happen. That can literally just happen with Flagberg. And if you need a bit of luck to win Worlds, because you do, right? You do. Then just high rolling Flagberg and just straight up win your games, right? So that is my top 5. That is my top 5. I think with standard, there's going to be like a bunch of other stuff. There might be Seraphs, right? There might be Bruces. There might be Barrows. I don't know. I think it could be quite open, or it could be quite close, to be honest. It could literally just be Youthberg versus Ava versus Lutisha every single game, right? But that will be up to the day, right? They'll happen on the day. If you want to watch it, make sure to watch that. And look, if you're in America and you see me, say hi. I'll be happy to say hi back. If you don't see me, then I don't know. You can watch the stream, right? And yeah, that's it. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you all in America, right? Bye.